If you're looking to list your home in the Conejo Valley and you're thinking to yourself, man, I want to get this listed, but first I got to update some things. Stop. Rethink how you want to do this, have a plan, and here's the top 10 things that I don't think you should fix if you're going to list in the Conejo Valley in 2026. All right. And I'm Saul Carter, Conejo Valley Realtor. I'm all about business sense, common sense, and uncommon realtor. Want to make sure that you're doing the right thing and you're maximizing the dollar value that you put in and the dollar value you get out of your home, because that's going to affect you down the road going into your next house, right? All right. So let's talk about that top 10 of don't fix, right? All right. First is do not do a full kitchen or bathroom remodel. Now, what this really entails is you're just not going to get the value that you put in out of the prop. When you put in 150 grand into a kitchen, you're not going to get 150 grand out. People expect that there is going to be a kitchen and a bathroom, and they don't always expect it to be perfect, right? So what we're really looking for in this area is we want the house to look clean, present well, look cared for, but not look like we're trying to outdo the neighbors on renovations at the last minute, right? You just do not get the value out that you put in. And for all of these that I'm talking about today, that is effectively the same thing on every single one. We want to talk about the things you get the value out of that you put in, right? And this is the do not fix list. So this is the list of things you're never going to get the value out of. All right. So what are some of the things you might want to do instead of, remodeling the entire kitchen? Well, you can do some touch-up paint, maybe updated hardware, swap out a light fixture, make things look nice and bright and presentable, but do not do a complete renovation, okay? All right. Now, number 2 is one of those ones that we always feel like, man, because it's the first thing we notice when we walk in the house, and that is flooring, right? And flooring has wear and tear and natural, all that stuff. Do not automatically go through and replace the entire home with new flooring, right? Because you're going to end up in a place where you're just spending way more. Once again, you find yourself in a place where people expect there to be flooring, so you're not getting the value out of it that you put in, especially if you brand new. Now, there's a couple caveats in this one. Now, if it is pet, or there's like it smells like pets or pee or whatever, or if it's got big holes or worn out and everything, but do not underestimate of how good a good cleaner can come in and make things work for you, right? I'm in the cat room and the cat is going crazy here. Anyway, so just think about that. Don't underestimate what you can get from somebody who comes in and cleans it up for you. Doing that carpet cleaning. They can even come in and stretch things here and there to get rid of some of those holes. And so I want you to think about that. Do not automatically replace all the flooring throughout the entire house. All right, number 3 is do not re-pour a driveway. If you have a Grand Canyon, you could think about doing that. But the truth of the matter is, Southern California, every house has a crack in the driveway. It just is a thing, right? So do not worry about it. It's not going to detract from the value. And rarely is it anything that anybody even thinks about when they are buying a house. So just don't even think about it, all right? All right. Now, number 4 is do not automatically go and replace the entire roof. If it looks good, right, and it is functioning, even if it's beyond its age, do not replace it. Now, if you have an internal leak or there's a big hole the size of a man, right, you do need to fix those things, but do not just go and replace the entire roof because it's 35 or 25 years old, right? These things can't last longer. You can make small repairs, but let's be honest. Do that whole roof inspection, find out what it costs to get it up to a certain level, and you're going to be good to go. If you folks who buy it want to put on a roof, you're just not going to, once again, get the value out of it that you put into it. So let's make sure that we're not doing that too. All right, number 5, do not replace the front door. There's so many things you can do to the front door besides replace it. Paint it, put on some new hardware, on the hinges and whatnot, clean it up, but do not replace the door, right? You do not get the value out of it. And you'd be amazed what some paint will do right here. So, okay. Now, number 7, do not, I skipped number 6. Let's go back, go to number 6. Number 6 is do not put in brand new window coverings. Okay, so this is something that we need to worry about in so much as we want to make sure things look nice and clean and neat. So if you have some that are destroyed because of pets or kids or all those things, you can replace that one or whatever. If they just need to be cleaned, do that, but do not replace them throughout the entire house. If it can be an undaunting amount of money to make that happen, and we just do not want to go down that road for all the new window coverings. Okay. Once again, not getting the value out of it, right? All right. Number 7 is do not do a complete remodel of your backyard. Your backyard, people like to do their backyards themselves. And that means that if you put everything into your backyard, I have a client who had their house on the market. They spent $150,000 on their backyard just to do renovations and put in an outdoor kitchen and all these other things. It was cool, but nobody liked it when they came in, because effectively what happened is the sellers overpriced their property because they knew how much they put into their backyard, which was way too much for that neighborhood. And so they just didn't get the money out of it. It was a point of pride for them because they loved their backyard. And it was beautiful, but they still have not sold that property. They ended up renting it. And it took them 3 years, and they lost probably $200,000 on it because of the shifts in the market, where if they just wouldn't have worried about it, they wouldn't have put the $150,000 into it, then, yeah, you know what I mean? So anyway, do not do that whole thing. Now, obviously, you want the backyard to look as clean as possible. But if it was a choice between having no grass or spending $50,000 and doing everything, I'd rather just have no grass. People can go through and do their backyard. They understand it. It is something they know it's going to be an expense, but let's make them, the buyers, do the expense, not the sellers, right? All right. Number 8 is do not replace an outdated fireplace. This is very much something that people have a preference for, and so you just don't need to worry about it. And so if it's brick and you've always wanted it to be slate or something like that, it is what it is. It's not going to add or detract value from the house. It's just one of those things that people know that they're going to have to fix in it, or if they learn to live with it, right? Be amazed. Anyway, number 9 is don't do some random one-off upgrade. So let's say you need, the one that I see a lot of is in the shower, they have one part that is just, it has hard water stains. And so they replace that one, but then it doesn't match. So you have this weird one, like 3 different colors in your bathtub or shower of fixtures, and it just doesn't work. So do everything you can to clean it up, but leave it the right age, unless you're going to go through and place all of them. But that rolls back to earlier. Number 1 was don't renovate your bathroom, right? So be careful about what those things. Don't do this one little one-off item. You just run into a situation where it looks weird. It calls attention to itself where it might not even have noticed if you just would have left it alone in the first place. All right. And number 10 is do not over improve your property for the neighborhood. If you've been living there for a long time and it needs some renovation and it's completely for you, do what you like, but please understand that you're not necessarily going to get the value out of it because you're building out upgrades and things like that for your personal preference. So if you're going to live there for the rest of your life, you can spend all the money you want. But if you're selling, that's not the case, right? So we're going to keep things in mind as we're doing this to try to appeal to a broader piece of the pie as far as buyers that are coming in, right? So we're not worrying about that much. And so do not now you can go and get, comps and figure what that out and figure out which ones. And if you look at comps between properties, if you have something that is immaculate, they've gone through the entire house, it's going to get a higher price than something that still looks like it's from 1985. If you price out how much all of those renovations cost to get that higher price, you're not going to get the money out of it, right? You'd be surprised to see, if you really pay attention and watch the comps, there's lots of properties that you think, oh, that thing isn't going to sell for, but it's in this beautiful neighborhood, right? It's not going to, people think, oh, it's not going to sell for how much they want for it. People like the neighborhoods, they will buy the house and do the renovations themselves, especially if it's something they've been trying to upgrade into and they just are like, oh, I love this location. But you're not going to get that value out of it if you're the seller, because you want somebody to buy it and make those renovations themselves. But the people who list a home that is basically, let's say, old. Oh, we got a new puppy too. Anyway, that is old and hasn't been upgraded. You'd be surprised that the ratio is much closer. Let's say just for easy numbers, you have a property that is $1 million. One property completely looks like 1985. Everything from 1985, never touched, everything, kept in clean and good condition, maybe, but just, it's move-inable, if you know what I mean, but it's not really a place. Or you have this other place. You're going to get, and they're the exact same house. You're going to get like 1.1 for the really good one, and you'll get like 950 for the one that hasn't been touched. You'll be amazed at how often I see that happen. You just don't get the value out of it. So those are my top 10 things to not fix in your home if you're trying to sell and maximize the value you're getting out of your property, as well as the money in your pocket at the end, right? Which includes what you sell it for and all your other expenses, right? So we want to minimize that as much as possible. All right. So if you're looking for more tips and tricks, go ahead and subscribe below, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you.